Hey guys, so today we'll be looking at Leetcode 91 decode ways. Okay, so a very interesting problem. Uh, so I'll just read out the question. You have intercepted a secret message encoded as string of numbers. The message is decoded via the following mapping. Okay, so one would correspond to A, two would correspond to B, similarly 25 to Y, 26 to Z. Okay, and I think this contains all lowercase letters. This would this would correspond to all uppercase letters. Okay, and however, decoding the message, you realize that there are many different ways you can decode the message, because some codes are contained in other codes 2 and 5 versus 25. Okay, so I'll explain you with an example. Okay, so we just have to return the number of ways in which a message can be decoded. Okay, and it is also guaranteed our answer would be able to fit in a 32-bit integer. Okay, so let me get started with an example first. Okay, so we are given 1 and 2. Okay, so 1 and 2, it can be decoded in two ways. Okay, so the first way, okay, it is 1. Okay, and the second way is 1 and 2. Okay, so yeah, this is how we can decode a message. We'll be given a string containing only numbers. Okay, so we need to find the number of ways in which we can decode it. And if you look at an example 3. Okay, so we have 0 6. Okay, so we cannot decode it, because we cannot take 0 as a valid character, because we are starting from 1. Okay, 1 will correspond to A and 26 will correspond to Z. Okay, so 0 is not a valid character over here, and I can take 6, but okay, I cannot take 0, right? So there's no way then I can decode it. Okay, I cannot take 0 and I cannot take 06 also. Okay, that is why I cannot decode it. So we'll return it as 0. Okay, so our input will be of size 100. Okay, so S only contains digits and may contain leading zeros. Okay, so I think you guys were able to understand what we need to do. Okay, so given an S, let me take this. Okay, we can take anything, doesn't matter. Okay, so the first thing that comes to your mind is the constraint is small and we can try out every possible combination. Okay, that's like the only possible approach that could come to my mind. Okay, so we'll try out all the combinations, and you can see, right, starting at an index, I can take 2 characters at max. Okay, it's not like I can take 126 as a whole characters. Okay, because we have the range starting from 1 to 26, so the maximum number of characters that we can take at a time is 2. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. So we are going to traverse from our 0th index, and if we are able to reach the end index, then it represents that we were able to get one variation. We were able to decode that string in one form. Okay, so we can return 1 once we reach the end. We can return 1. Okay, so at every index we have 2 options. Okay, it is basically an abstract problem. So at every index we have 2 options: to take 1 character or to take 2 characters at a time. Okay, so if we do this, let's say I was in index idx. Okay, so for the next I have 2 options. Option 1 would be to move to the next index. Okay, and option 2 would be to move to the next index. Okay, so I can either move to here or I can move to here. Okay, so yeah, these are the two possible options we have for any given index. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. We are going to return the summation of our options. Okay, yeah, that is pretty much all we are going to do. And uh, you can see, right, at every possible index we have two options. Okay, so the time complexity would be 2 power n. Okay, so it will be 2 power 100, so it will give us error, so we need to memorize it. So we can see, right, given a string, the only variable which constantly changes is idx. Okay, so there is only one variable which is changing, so we can have a 1D array of 1D array which we will use to memorize the solutions. Okay, so once we find the solution for any given index, we can use it for further operations. Okay, so let me quickly explain it. Okay, so 1 2 7 6 7. Okay, let's say we have this input. Okay, so at this index, say I was able to get the answer. Okay, at this index. Okay, let me explain it in more detail. So first I was here, then I will call it for this, then I'll call it for this. Okay, so this is the first option which I'm exploring. Okay, so I'll call for this, and I'll go. Okay, so this will return 1 since I'm able to reach the end of the string. Okay, this will return 1. Okay, then let's say if I take 2 characters over here. Okay, then again I will take 1, I'll take 1, I'll take 1, I'll take 1. Okay, so you can see, right, these are all the operations which are repeating. Okay, this part is again repeating, so I can have this stored in the DB, and I can use that to calculate. Okay, so yeah, again I think I missed one critical point. So given a 0, okay, at if say at any index we encounter 0. Okay, so let me take 1208. Okay, so if at any index we are encountering 0, then I cannot take this and I cannot take this also. Okay, so it would not make any sense to move forward. Okay, so whenever we encounter a 0, we'll return 0, saying there's no possible way that we can explore further. Okay, so let's let me make it more clear. So initially I took this, I came here. Okay, so I'll return 0. Okay, but okay, if I took this, okay, and then if I took this, then if I took this, okay, then this would give me a valid answer, let's say 1. Okay, so you can see, if my input contains a 0, okay, it does not necessarily mean the number of ways in which I can decode is 0. Okay, it just means I cannot start at an index which is at 0. Okay, because there's no way, right, I can take this or I can take this. Okay, so whenever we encounter we are at an index which is 0, okay, then we can just return saying we cannot explore any further than that. Okay, so yeah, I think this covers all our cases, and yeah, let me quickly walk you through the code and it will be much more clear. Okay, so yeah, this is the function that we are given. Okay, this is the function that we are given, and I let's leave the memorization part for now. Okay, so I have defined a function solve which will give us the answer. Okay, so yeah, let me just quickly do this. Okay, yeah, so starting off at 0 index. Okay, so at any point of time, if I'm able to reach the end of the string, given string, then I can just return key. Yeah, I'm able to decode it in one way. Okay, so yeah, this is what I'm going to return. And if at any index my character is 0, then I'm going to return 0. Okay, and at any given index which is valid, I have two options to either move one, either take one character or I can take two characters at maximum. Okay, so yeah, this is the first option and this is the second option. Okay, and some basic checks. What I'm going to do is I want to make sure okay, I have taken a temporary string which will, okay, this is a substring function. You, like, if you are not familiar with this, I'll just explain. So if I have a string, say abcd, if I do s dot sub str, okay, the first parameter would, here it would be your start index, and the second parameter would be your size. Okay, it is not the end index, it will be a size. Okay, so starting at any index, I'm taking a size of 2. Okay, so I'm going to check if my size is actually 2. So let's say I'm at an index, I'm at the last index. Okay, I'm at this index. Okay, 1 2. Okay, so this is my string, I'm at the last index. So if I move one step next, then also I would get the answer as 1. Okay, and if I take the length as 2, okay, then also I'll get an answer 1. Okay, so if I don't do this check, if my temp dot size is 2, then it would, for this, let's say if I have a single character also, okay, my s. Okay, so how many ways I can decode this? Actually 1. Okay, but if I don't do that check, it will return me 2, because it will consider this and it will move to the next character. I'm reaching the end, so it will return 1, and I'm taking size 2, but since there is no more string left, it will take it as 1. Okay, so again I'll reach the next index, so it will again return 1. Okay, so I'm returning 2, but that should not be the case, right? So that is why I'm going to check that my string is of size 2, and I'm going to convert it to an integer, and I'm going to check if it is lies between 1 to 26. Okay, so if both my conditions are satisfied, then I can just move towards the next index. Okay, so yeah, so if you just submit this, then it will give you a memory limit exceeded error, so you need to memorize it. So I have taken a dp array of size 100, and yeah, I've just at any point of time that I'm returning, I'm going to make sure I'm storing it in the dp. Okay, and if it is not equals to -1, I'm initializing it with -1 here. Okay, so if it is not -1, then I can just return this value. Okay, so yeah, this was pretty much it, and I hope I was able to make this question clear, and I'll see you guys in the next video.